Hey, okay, welcome back to the Caribou Data Science channel. This is the early afternoon of April the 4th, 2022. And we're going to we're going to try to answer a couple of questions, SQL questions. One is, what do you do if you can't alter a table? And two, what do you do if you can't create new tables? And three, what is a view and why are views useful? Okay, to begin with, first we need to go out and get some data. You can try searching. You can download you can download your COVID-19 data from whatever your favorite site is. I'm actually using the site. It's GitHub, but the actual site this repository is maintained by Our World in Data, and this is their data. So we come to here, okay, click on Public, click on Data. If you want to find out what the columns mean, that's what this cookbook is for, okay? But here's the actual data itself. Now come over here, you can't actually see it because it's too big. But what you want to click Download. Now you got your data here. You right click, save as, save as our world in data. So let's wait a minute or two for this to. Let's answer the first questions, okay? And that is, uh, why would you use a, a view? And the reason is because you may not have the permissions needed to either one, alter an existing table, or two, you don't have the permissions to even create a new table. But you do have permissions to run queries, and you have permissions to create views. Okay, so that's the first reason I want you to understand that. Now we got our data download. Let's just come over here. Well, we're actually going to do it over here. Flat source means a database. That means in our case means a CSV file. Now, one of the things about this particular import export tool is it imports everything by default as a character field or variable character field, something like that. Okay, click over here, destination, database, next. Let's just come up here. Let's just change the name here. Let's just call it. It doesn't make it. We'll just call it that. Next, next, finish. Watch for any errors down here. So there's no error message, so that's good. Let's just run a let's just run a quick query to make sure that it does work. Now right here, this says the correct database name, but just to make sure, in case someone else runs the script, we want to go ahead and do this anyway. Okay, because you run this, and then it'll make sure that the database you're working with is is it'll make sure you are running the query in the correct database. And there's all of our data. Now you notice it's not nulls and it's not uh, NAs. Okay, and the reason is because these are all character fields. Nulls are only for numeric fields. Okay. Okay. Let's get rid of this also. So now if we come back over here, and we take a look over here at the column types. Now, as you recall in a previous video, I showed you how to use the alter and update table commands to fix the problem. Okay, you see everything, dates, of course, continent and date is location or characters, but the date field is a character, the total case is a character, the new case is a character, total deaths are a character, and so forth, all the way down. Okay, and again, our scenario is that we can't uh, that we can't alter the table and we can't create a new table. So what are the fields we want? We want location. We want continent. We want new cases, older cases. Okay. Now the trouble is these are numeric fields, or these are character fields. So we want to know that we want to convert these to actually convert. We want to convert these. We want to convert these to numeric fields to specifically not we want to convert them to real numbers, meaning decimal, meaning you got integer and decimal numbers after the in the field. Because if you try to, you might think, well, let's just convert them to a nit. But apparently, when you divide an integer by an integer, it returns an integer. And if it's less than if it's less than one, and it doesn't return any decimal portions of the number. So if it's less than one, it simply returns a zero. So let's do this then. No, he just goes up here. New deaths. Now, just to make sure we understand, total deaths is the cumulative total deaths or cases to date, from day one up until yesterday. That's the total number. The new cases, new deaths, those are the daily number, the daily reported numbers. So those numbers are going to vary, go up and down, uh, because they're single day numbers. Okay, and similar population also. Okay, first we'll do we'll come up here, we'll convert a date, new cases, but let's don't stop here. Let's go because remember our purpose here also is to demonstrate a knowledge of of SQL and how to use the data, the the table, the various commands to alter the data type. Okay, so let's do this. let's say we want to let's say we want to simply pull out the year. Well, there's two ways to do that. The easiest way is to use the now this may not work because this field doesn't actually exist yet. We'll see what happens here. And if it doesn't work, we'll just come back and we'll just do a cast here inside of there. Now let's do date part. And, and let's just do, okay, let's do, okay. So now we cast it, first we cast it as a date type and rename it to year, month, day. Then we pull out the year portion of the date, the month portion as a digit part of the date, and the quarter number. Okay. Now we'll come down here. We're going to do another cast. Now again, when you cast these, you want to cast them as a real number. Otherwise, and I'm just going to rename these like this. Keep the same names. All right. Okay. Uh, Finally, population. Let's see if this will actually work. Let's see what happens now. Uh, yeah. Okay. Oh, you know what it might be? It may not. This may not work. So this may not work. We may have to actually do a cast inside of here. Okay, so let's do this. And the thing to remember is, okay, very good. Okay, so here we go. Month, year, uh, date, month, quarter. So now we got our numbers here, okay? Okay. So now we got our format here. And once again, come over here, everything, total cases, total deaths, and so forth are all variable characters. We use the cast command to convert them to numeric values and date fields, okay? But the trouble is, we don't have to come back and do these things every single time. But what we're going to do now, we're going to, when you see how easy it is to create you create a view, you'll be like, wow, oh, I wish I knew this. I wish I knew this last week. Great. And that should be all there is to it. Okay. Create, oh, create view. This is the view name. Now, sometimes people do something like this, just so we know that it's actually a view. What is it? There we go. Let's come back down here. And so now you got this table done. You don't have to go. You don't have to do back. You don't have to do any more casts from this point on out. Okay. And again, execute. Now take a look at this. Come back up here. Views. Here's a view. Now let's take a look at the column types. Location, date, init, 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 cases where we are. So, so the view, to a certain extent, it's kind of hard to describe. A view, you might call it, it's not really a table, okay? Because it's almost like a window, and you're looking at the data through this window, which is an SQL statement. So therefore, it adopts all of the all all of the characteristics of the SQL statement is passed to the view, which is why you don't have to worry. Which is why we don't have to worry about uh, worry about we don't have to worry about the the variable types anymore. Because as long as you do this, well, let's just try something here real quick. Let's just look at something fairly simple. Okay, so the view preserves the column types from the underlying SQL database. Is that SQL query? Okay, does that make sense? Let's do this. Let's say this. Let's see what the total max cases is. Okay, so this is now the maximum numbers there. Okay, but let's say what we want to do. We want to pull out the max number, and so let's let's say we want to try to pull out the maximum continent. we're going to pull out the maximum number by continent. See how this works. We've got to do it. We've got to do a group by here. Well, there's two things we can do here. Hey, remember. Oh, wait. Yeah. This doesn't really make any. This doesn't really make any sense. But let's just run with it anyway and see what happens. Because the max total case total, that's going to be the last row, okay, in the data in the table for each continent, okay? Because the max is a cumulative total today. So let's just see what happens here if we do something like it. This isn't going to work because we're using aggregate functions. Okay, we're using aggregate functions. So let's do this by continent. So now we got the total cases, total deaths by continent. All right. And so forth. Let's see. Now, how else can we do this? Well, we could do because the last row for where it's a continent or country and the total cases total deaths is going to be the maximum. Okay. Another thing is you could say sum equals okay. So it's kind of it's not really necessary to say maximum this. Okay. What you can do is okay. So okay. Redash. Oops. No. So so what can we do? We should be able to come over here and say where see what happens here. Okay, so that didn't work. But there should only be, is my math off or something? There should be only one record, one row for this day. Huh. This is interesting, isn't it? Okay, so that doesn't make any sense. Why are we having all these rows for the third? That's interesting. Okay, so so now again, what the view does, it eliminates their possible, it eliminates the steps of casting the numbers for the values for every single query. Okay, okay. Now it's just a question like this down here, because these are both dates, because these are both integer values now in this query. All we have to do is use the max function. Okay, so that concludes this brief demonstration on how to use how to create and use views in Microsoft SQL Server. Okay.